Yeah, I mean, it's just good to see our team really, kind of bounce around and get after it tonight. It was a little different mindset. We had a lot of discussions the last couple of days just about playing harder and, just the way we go about things. And man, they took it to heart today. Really good pregame, and you could tell they didn't care who we were playing. They were ready to get after it. And, as far as the offense goes, it's like we finally got the big hit. I thought when Lanzilli doubled in the corner, kind of put us up. I think we were up maybe 1 or 2 at the time, put us up, I think 4 or whatever. That was like maybe the first big kind of game separator we've had this year. So that was really good to see. And it was good to get some guys in there, take some good at-bats and bring some guys in to throw. I thought Brady Tiger threw extremely well. Evan Taylor threw extremely well. Just a couple of guys that we think can help us. Tiger's missed a lot of fall with a little injury, and he sat 95, 96, I think, in that inning. And what I really liked what I saw. He jams a guy, gives up a bloop single, makes a nice pitch. A guy stays inside the ball and slaps it the other way. And his first 2 college pitches are singles. First and third, nobody out, and it didn't faze him. He got out of it with a strikeout or 2, and he just kept pumping that good breaking ball. And he's a guy that I really feel like can give us some quality innings this year. So it was good to see some of those young guys get in there and do a nice job.
Their guy Gordon, I mean, he had decent numbers, and I mean, their pitching staff didn't get bombed like this much out in California. What did just I don't know, the breakthroughs?
Well, Gordon's stuff is just different. He hadn't given up a hit to a left-handed hitter all season. That's why I stacked a couple right-handers in there in the middle of the order back-to-back, and I don't think it really helped, but our lefties got him a little bit, and that was good to see. Robert, we hit and run with Robert, and he slapped a double down the left field line. We score a run, and it was good to see Michael Turner. He hit the ball well against him, and I don't know. It was he's got a really good changeup. He really spots his fastball. He doesn't miss in the middle of the plate much, and the ball that Brady hit off of him that hit on top of the building was a changeup, and I watched the replay of it. It wasn't a super bad pitch. It was out over the plate a little bit, but it wasn't down the middle in. It was more away, and Brady just stayed through it, and the ball just jumped. But, he had great success 3 times out of the pen and once as a starter, and it took us a while to really get to him, and I think we wore him down a little bit. And it all started with Peyton Stovall, the first hit of the game. I know, what did he see, 10, 11, 12 pitches somewhere in there, and that was big.
Did you see anything different in Lanzilli or Stovall's approaches specifically today that helped them play better than in previous series so far this season?
Well, I think that Lanzilli's hit the ball pretty hard. Both of them, their batting averages are down. I think Peyton has been out front a lot, and I think he's been he's let it all get to him. He's young and worrying about all the other things, instead of just playing the game. And we had a little talk yesterday about all of that, and I told him he was starting today, and I told him he'd be hitting leadoff, and you're our guy, and I thought he had some good at bats today. He drove that ball to center, really put some good backspin on it, and it took off, and I think it was big for him to get that first home run, because he does have some power. Hit that ball, and he didn't get all of it, and still went 400 plus, and as far as Lanzilli, he's had some pretty good days for us, so I don't think there's been much of a change there.
What did you make of Evan Taylor's day today?
I thought it was outstanding. He comes in, Adamiak really struggled, in our opinion, because he really didn't have a pitch to put him away with. You get ahead of people, and they foul pitches off, and they get back in the count, walk them, they get a base hit, and pitch count got up, and Heston Toll, he came in and got us through an inning or so, but his stuff wasn't real sharp. So when Taylor came in, he had a good inning. Even his first 2 pitches, both of them were balls, but they were good pitches, just missing. And he got through that inning real quick, And then we hit for 30 minutes. And he's up in the tunnel trying to stay loose, and they make a pitching change or two, and he goes out and has a better second inning. I mean, he just dotted it up and got us back in there. 2 innings, 22, 23 pitches, and throwing the ball 92, 93, heavy sink, and it was really good to see. Really good to see.
I think you've used him kind of as a left-handed specialist, maybe a batter or two. Does an outing like this kind of show you he's capable of going a couple innings if you need it?
Yeah, I mean, we've thought he's not just a left-handed specialist, but that is how we've used him so far this season. He gets righties out fine. He can get that slider under their hands and throws that heavy sinker and can get ground balls. He can also bust you pretty good with the fastball. But, when he got through the first inning, Coach Hobbs and I were like, hey, we need to let him go back out, see if he can do that again. And he did. And, we're just letting these guys kind of prove stuff to him one way or the other, whether they're ready or they're not. And, he looks ready to me.
I think you raised your batting average 29 percentage points today. Is this maybe the kind of breakout game that can get something rolling?
Well, you hope so. We as coaches knew it was coming. We knew that we were one big hit away, and I don't know if we'd scored more than 2 runs in one inning this season. Maybe we have one. I don't know. I mean, we had a couple back-to-back innings where we scored 5-6 runs, and we feel like that we have that type of team. And, a couple singles, a couple walks, and bang, and we hadn't had that. And tonight we got it. And there was other guys chipping in, and even some of the young guys coming off the bench. Like I said a minute ago, they came in and had a couple pretty good at bats. I thought Max Solis Jr. had 2 really good at bats. He saw like 12, 14 pitches and 2 at bats, and popped up the last pitch in his first at bat. The last pitch in his last at bat, he smoked it 105 miles an hour off the bat. 2-hopper off the wall, and that was good to see. So, because these guys, they're going to have to help us. They're going to get some starts, and they're going to have to help us off the bench and pinch hitting. And I thought, those 2 guys did a great job.
Coach, I wanted to get your thoughts on Slavin's home run. Did you kind of think after that it kind of loosened up the rest of the lineup?
Yeah, I mean, it did. It wasn't like it was a 3-run homer or a swing that took us from a 2-run lead to a 5-run lead, but it was a good swing. And right when he hit it, we all knew it was going on the building. And so, yeah, it was kind of like, wow. You could even see some of their players kind of like, wow. Even the pitcher smiled like, well, if you're going to give one up, it doesn't matter. It still counts as 1 run. You might as well give it up, and he did. And so I think it did loosen us up because we've been struggling. We've been fighting ourselves a little bit, and we feel like we can hit. We have faced some really good pitching this year. I mean, first weekend, 3 veterans, strike throwers, bullpen threw strikes. They didn't give us anything, and then we couldn't get the big hit. Kind of the same thing this past weekend, and then Battles finally got it, and we held on to win that ball game and be back home for 12 more games in a row, and hopefully we'll continue to play well and continue to maybe gain a lot of confidence at the plate.
Andrew, let's go ahead.
Coach, Oliver told us that we will talk to you for this weekend. So are you sticking with the same rotation, and do you know anything about Southeastern?
Yeah, as far as I know, and Coach Hobbs and I don't feel like we're changing the rotation. I thought all 3 guys did a nice job last week, and we'll stick with that again. I think that what we saw from tonight, we get to pick up a few more relievers at a minimum, which is good. And then as far as Southeastern, they're a team that they play a little bit like Louisiana Lafayette. They like to run, hit and run, create a little havoc. I know that first weekend went pretty good for them. Last weekend didn't go great, and then they faced Tulane last night. It didn't go well, and they're playing Louisiana Tech tonight, who lost yesterday. So, and then they're coming to see us. So. They're going to be on their game and ready to go. I don't know how it's gone with them. Maybe they're playing tonight, but that's their style a little bit. They've been at the top of the Southland Conference most every year the last few years. They do a really good job down there.
Coach, to have the crowd today, kind of start of a 13-game homestand with a Wednesday afternoon game, how do you kind of build on that, kind of set the tone with a 13, 15-point win? How do you move on from that?
The crowd was great. The weather was unbelievable for this time of year, and I told our players we deserve that weather from what we've been through, because it was worse in Texas than maybe it was here, and it was windy and cold. And the first weekend was rough. The wind blew in 3 days in a row, and it was kind of cold. And to have a beautiful day like this, what is today, March 2nd? I mean, it's unbelievable. I'm supposed to have it pretty much through Saturday anyway. But the crowd was great. I think it built some momentum, and I think we'll continue to see a lot of people come out to watch this team get better.
Football might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pros and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's promo code BLEAV. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage, is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts.